I'm doing great, Charles. You asked. I want to know how everyone in the audience is doing. Cat Dad, Red Skull, etc. How's everyone doing today?
etc. Jeez, you gotta do everybody dirty like that. Grand
I'm not gonna read.
Tonto, Aaron's Ghost, RJK3X, Rick Frog, Stephen Vinyl, Cade, Yellowhammer, Don Pedro, Equestical,
Jeez, it sounds like you're reading off
Equestical,
our Patreon subscribers or
Desex,
something.
Ubex, MPodX.
I love to see it. Thank you guys so much for
And
showing up
Stephen.
today. Oh, goodbye, Stephen. Good night. Um, RJK up grinding at 1 a.m. I admire the hustle. Yeah, guys. So welcome to Club Codex. I'm glad you all could make it. We've got an exciting edition of the club for you today. We want to tell you what we're working on, our plans, some updates, all that kind of stuff. So, do we want to get right into it, Charles,
We're
or
gonna get right into it.
okay, answer a little bit.
Everybody is
Okay,
busy. Norval and I are gonna be steering the ship here. So yeah, we've been working on a ton of stuff in the background. It has been an insane couple weeks. There's actually going to be an announcement made next week by some very large team who isn't us, and there'll be some insights into what I've been working on, which is a pretty big deal for our team. Anyways, I won't say any more, but there's
okay.
going to be a pretty cool announcement coming up next week, I believe. That should give our team a ton of credibility. So, um, anyways, everybody's busy is the point, um, which is definitely a good thing. But yeah, I'm excited to speak on their behalf. Um,
Wait, so I'm sorry. Could you slow your roll here a little bit, Charles? Chucky, slow your roll
mhm.
here a little bit. What is this you're talking about? You didn't tell me about this. There's
I
some
can't say.
big name gonna
Well,
announce
actually,
it above
Beavis
us?
leaked it like a couple weeks ago, and then I had to take it out of the recording. Um, but I can't say. I can't say what it is. It's. I will say that it's not Codex related. So I can't say that. Uh,
Okay,
but
so it's
yeah,
not even
it's
relevant to this club. Okay, that's cool.
yeah, no, it's not really relevant. But it will bring some eyes
Okay,
to our team,
good
and
deal.
it's been yeah, it's caused me to have no time in the last like
Yeah,
2 weeks, month.
Beavis was signed to the Lakers. Um, there, I
Yeah,
just leaked it for you guys. Um, interesting.
he
Okay,
is pretty tall.
well,
He's like 6'4".
I'm gonna corner you in the back room, Charles, and make you tell me what this is later.
Okay,
And
I
then I'll
think you
tell
want to
Aaron's
know.
ghost maybe, and only him. So we did have a little question here, and I'm gonna gently segue from this beautiful leak that you're rubbing in people's faces. Uh, and what's from Equestical? Equestical? When migration? Great and prudent question, Equestical. So we've been pretty quiet on like the merge front, the merge, the migration, all that stuff. Um, and it's because it's like we don't want to like talk about like something that doesn't mean anything, right? Like we don't want to be like, oh, we pushed it, we pushed another contract, we're testing another contract. We want to give you stuff that you can actually chew on, right? So here's something you can kind of chew on. So the front end for depositing your granary and oath, um, is imminent. Uh, Migration contracts are being audited, so we got everything kind of ready to intake the oath and the grain, right? But the corresponding codex claims and token launch are still a little bit off, a little bit ways off because we're still working out some deals on that front. Um, but yeah, I mean, it is soon. It is soon. In the grand
How did you
scheme of
know?
things, in the long arc of history, it is soon. But yeah, I mean, it's still gonna be a good few months.
Relative to the age of the universe,
Yeah.
it's like seconds away, guys.
Mhm. Yeah. So
No.
hopefully,
It
like,
is. Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, it is exciting about the migration contracts, and everything ready there. Um, yes, I'm excited to have both not be in my wallet anymore. No, that's actually not true. I'm gonna be sad. Um,
You can't say that,
I'm
bro.
going to be. No, you're right. I can't say that. I am gonna keep some as a token of my just some like nostalgic purposes.
Charles gonna keep
You
one
gotta
single.
keep some.
He's gonna keep
I'm gonna
one
keep an oath.
single oath.
I've never lost
Um,
my oath. Okay.
yeah, I like that. I like that thematically. Yeah, no, I'm excited. And as we get closer, I don't know if I can say this, but I've been thinking about it. Like, price action on Oath has been pretty bad. Um, but I'm thinking I'm probably gonna try and buy some going into the merge just because. Uh, I'm bullish personally. Not saying that anyone else should do this, but that's probably what I'm gonna be doing. I'll buy
And
$20
save.
worth. Um, and
And
my
save.
whole life savings. And yeah, so yeah, again, quick refresher though too. If you've forgotten, I doubt anyone's forgotten, but some of the details that we've talked about regarding the merge. Um, it's going to become the Cod3x token will be the resulting token. 40% of that supply is going to go to green and oath holders in a commensurate ratio, meaning,
Okay.
uh, respecting the values and market size of both Oath and Grain token. Um, Codex is going to live on ETH mainnet, but will be accessible anywhere. There will be zero emissions. Unclaimed vests will be compensated based on a snapshot at the end of the migration period. But I want to make this clear. This is the shape of our plan. Um, we're not locked into this yet. We haven't fired this clay we've molded yet. So if you have any input, if you have any, insights, questions, concerns, real problems with this kind of plan, be sure to head over to the Oath Governance forums, which we have not talked about in a while, but we do go there, and we are open to your feedback. And let us know what you think about the merge plan. And if you need a refresher, here's the existing plan. Um,
Yeah. Yeah. So like we like what we've worked out. But we just want to make sure that everybody is sort of on the same page and has like fully exhausted everything they have to say about it. Just not to leave any stone unturned, and not to leave anybody's opinion sort of out of the conversation. But generally, we are bullish on the plan as it currently stands. Yeah, so yeah, please head over to the forum if you want to say anything else about it. We know everybody's eager for this migration to happen. Um, and yeah, I'm extremely excited, extremely bullish. I'm now like I'm doing a lot of BD. I'm on the growth team, so I've been doing a lot of B2B relations, stuff like this. And yeah, I mean, we're like, it's, we're doing so much work on the back end in terms of like getting the growth team. Oh my God, I didn't even notice that. That's hilarious. Like in terms of partnerships, integrations, teams we're talking to, I mean, honestly, we are in rooms with like pretty much everyone in crypto, and it's very exciting. So um, that's what Codex is about. It's an aggregation layer. It's about distilling all of DeFi into this single point where your mom can just go in and get some yield, and not need months of explanation to yeah, your mom. I talked to her last week. I told her about Codex, and she was like, "Wow, it sounds great." Um, yeah, and she says, "Eat your vegetables." So rude. I can't believe this is going on the recording. Yeah, so we're just really, really excited about it. And things are being like a review has been done. Things are being audited. Security is obviously number one, as always, with our team. So yeah. For any final thoughts or any more conversations you want to have, head over to the forum. Um, yeah, and I do, Corbel, anything to add on that? I do want to talk a bit about the MRP developments that have been
Yeah.
happening. Yeah.
Yeah, no worries. Let's just kind of wrap this up regarding the merge. Um, I want to be clear too when I'm saying like this isn't set in stone. Like this is the shape of it. What I mean is like you know, we're pretty confident in this plan going forward. Things might change a little bit, but I think what's clear when you look at the tokenomics as proposed, what our intentions are, right? Ensuring that oath and grain holders are rewarded for their continued loyalty. Um, Vested positions are adequately compensated. Um, and yeah, this is awesome. Okay, this is a great. Uh, I'm gonna bookmark this one. Great post here, RJ. We'll talk about this a little bit later. We actually have space for this exact conversation. But
Very
yeah, okay,
nice.
cool. Yeah, so when I'm saying like the shape of it, I mean like this is identifying what our primary goals are, and you can kind of glean that from our writing. Um, but yeah, all right. So that's enough on the merge for now. We'll continue to keep you posted as things come up, and you'll see even more public announcements through more public forum like channels when things come up. Things like front ends live come deposit. Uh, cool. So let's move on then to our second topic here. And
Well,
this
do
is
you want
gonna,
to actually hit that question
yeah. I
first?
mean,
Do you want to hit
I mean,
RJK's question
well,
first? I feel
I
like
gotta
that's
read it first. I
okay.
just kind of skimmed it,
Okay.
but
Um, yeah,
mhm.
yeah. So to me, it would only be natural that most projects will fall on the back burner, and users in certain discords will not be up to date on what's going on. Um, I don't know about the like. It, we don't want projects to fall on the back burner. I don't know if that's the right way to say it, but that is a good point where it's like you've got 6, 10 discords going all at once, and certain announcements people might miss by not being in a few of the discords. So yeah, Corval, from the marketing side, what have you guys talked about in terms of like consolidating discords, not consolidating discords? I'd like to know where your head's at with that as well.
Yeah, I'm getting front ran by freaking Brick Frog in the chat here, but
Yeah,
that's
dude,
exactly it.
classic Brick Frog.
So internally, we have spoken about this. I've brought it up from the beginning. The idea that Codex could serve as kind of like the focal point or the head of the squid, head of the octopus, or whatever for communications. Like we could have one big Discord, sub channels referencing each MRP. There's been a topic of some discussion and debate. There's lots of pros and cons to this. Um, so we're still kind of working it out. I think the conclusion the team came to in our previous huddle was it's a little early um, to start consolidation, but I am keen to hear from you guys because this discords are primarily meant to service the community. So, and I'm assuming that all of us here are real big oath grain heads. So vested in the success. So your opinions carry a lot of weight here. So what you guys think about one mega server? If you're really for it, really hate it, let us know. Some of like our primary concerns would be it would be too unwieldy. One mega Discord. Another
Yeah,
might be
tons of
that
channels,
yeah.
tons of channels needed, tons of like different support tickets, all this kind of stuff. Where um, you know, like
And my counter to
where when
this,
we hit the growth that we are targeting, you've just got like this huge Discord that's makes it even harder to service everybody. Um,
so
so like I see it as like different Discords. It's kind of easier to service everyone from like the team's perspective and from like a support perspective. But on the community side, maybe it's the other way around, where if you've got a bunch of different discords, you're missing important news that comes out, stuff like this.
yeah, there is. so Brig mentioned the centralized risk, which is also true. Um, but also my counter to Charles' point is still, I mean, I think it would be kind of simpler to manage all customer like support tickets through one central thing,
Maybe you're
because
right.
you have all the eyes focused in one location, um, as opposed to like having 10 discords that you gotta like stay across. Um, but yeah, another thing is kind of like the culture that might develop. If one MRP is underperforming or overperforming, we might see people developing negative sentiment, bleeding over. We don't want to have like rivalries essentially forming in a negative way. So there's a lot of things that we've been kind of thinking about, trying to be cognizant of in terms of the social development of the platforms, how easy it would be to manage a mega Discord. But there are definitely some big advantages. Uh, I would even say particularly from like a biz dev side, right? Like if we have one Discord that's got like like a million billion users, that kind of looks a lot better than 15 different Discords with like 200 or whatever. Um, but yeah, we'll test it out. The initial version of this Discord actually did have like a bunch of more channels for that. But anyway, yeah, a Discord
It's
organized
true,
the
yeah.
way mirrors how Codex is organized. That's a good point, Grant Tonto.
Yeah, no, that is a very good point. And that I was just about to make a point like that where um we want users, we want teams, we want networks, we want anyone who is involved with us who know what we're across. Like I don't there isn't really like there is only upside involved in when you are, doing BD, when you're dealing with a new user. There's only upside involved in that person knowing that Codex is linked to Ironclad, is linked to Aurelius, is linked to Glyph, like that. This is all one sort of like one big movement, and that Codex is simply the center of it all, trying to surface positions across DeFi, primarily across MRPs, but also other applications and stuff like this. So um, yeah, to Gran Tonto's point, it definitely like you know a challenge that we've faced with like business development and growth is we set up meetings with maybe like for example with a network to talk about deploying an MRP there. Um, and bridging the conversation over to Codex, or like at least getting Codex, the idea of Codex in front of them, is a lot harder when like we're meeting them under a certain banner and then they're like familiar with that, and then we try and hey, by the way, this is the hub of our hub and spoke. You should get involved with us here as well. It's easier if we've got those two sort of tightly linked, or at least there's like a marriage between all of the protocols that we're servicing. I hope that made sense, but yeah, I do like the point that Grant Onto made.
Yeah, I think it's interesting. And I I like it because it mirrors the organization, but also kind of like the function. I also enjoy RJK's idea because it's kind of out there. It's a little wacky. It's a little new. It's a little different. If we just freaking drop Discord entirely, move to one centralized place like a forum or a website. I'm a big fan of the old school forums. I think they might start making a comeback. But I mean, that would require a lot of lift too. I think it would make us stand out a
Yeah,
little bit more, but there
it
would be
would.
kind
I
of
don't know.
advantages. I like the idea of
Crypto.
organizing the tool we have already in that fashion, though.
Mm,
Um, that's kind of
I
what
feel
I
like we're
was
kind of
thinking.
leaning towards the mega Discord in this as we sort of talk through this more. Um,
Mhm.
but uh, 3x, I can't take it anymore. It's a funny way to put it.
Okay,
I can't
sleepy.
take this anymore. I need to go. Understandable. So sorry. Um, yeah, I feel like we're kind of gravitating towards a mega Discord idea. I do think like Discord is so entrenched in crypto culture, it would make us look different, but I think we would lose a lot of reach by not having a Discord at all.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think Tonto
discoverability
brings.
exactly. It's tough.
I think Tonto brings up a good point too, though. That I mean, like, who uses Discords is like techies, but I also think this a lot of youth use Discord. And by youth, I mean just I don't know how old anyone here is, but I've met a couple like college students that were using Discord for like social groups and stuff, like music clubs or whatever. Yeah, those two Utes, bro. They got me cheesing, fam. But no, there is like a what would you say? Like Discord is like kind of becoming like the modern forums, right? Or it just is. Like people have them organized for all different kinds of purposes. So I don't think it's necessarily exclusive for non-techies. Um, so yeah, it's just probably just going to be a component of our marketing strategy forever. A Telegram, a Discord, a website, a blog, all that stuff, an X,
Mhm.
just for different communication purposes. I kind of like to think of it as Discord as being a little bit further down the funnel, though, where this is like the insider group, dude. You guys are special if you're in the Discord. You know what I mean?
I mean,
Uh,
everybody here, like at this very moment, is totally in on the ground floor. I'm trying to talk and read comments at the same time. Uh, yeah, agreed, RJK. Yeah,
okay, I
yeah, I
like
agree with that.
RGK's solution. It's like a marriage of the two, right? Where it increases like the discoverability, but also lets us like maintain the separation. I think it's kind of sick.
Yeah, mhm,
Very cool.
totally.
Um, yeah, so we got some typing here going on, but yeah, I just want to point out too, like, so this is some of the stuff we're working on in Codex. I would say this is like even kind of a smaller component of a lot of the daily work we have going on. It's one of the like
I
one of
mean,
the parts we're considering as part of our general marketing strategy, right? Um,
yeah,
but on top of that, we've expanded the marketing team recently to keep on top of like new deployments of MRPs because MRPs are key to our success, our initial success. The two fundamental keys to our success here, I would say, and Charles, stop me if I'm wrong. Strong MRPs
mhm,
and partnerships, like partnership integrations, like really fleshing out the Codex universe, right? Getting as many entrants as possible um, is really our path to success, aside from like the actual engineering of the thing. Um, and then another strong focus. So I would say our strongest focus is right now, we're putting a lot of energy into marketing, a lot of energy into biz dev. Um,
yeah,
to that
totally.
end,
I mean, that's where you're hearing from biz dev and marketing guys currently. So
yes.
if we
So that's
had some engineers up here, they'd have a lot more to say about the other side of the business. Uh, yeah,
it'd be really
MRPs.
boring
I
if
do
you
want
don't
to
know
talk
like
about MRPs. It would be
yeah.
it would be really boring. It'd be boring for us. Um, yes. Yellowhammer. Understood. Yeah. So there's. I guess I'll touch on this really briefly. Yellowhammer has a question about the Sona and the developments there. There isn't much we can do, my friend. We're waiting for developments. We're staying on top of it. We will, obviously pass along any news that's given out. But you know, the, it's out of our hands at this very moment. And until we get some sort of clarity, um, yeah,
Yeah, so I mean that's pretty much it. We're working on the things that we can work on. That's kind of well that's all we can do really. Um, and to that
so yeah, I
point,
want to talk about MRPs.
yeah, MRPs are something that we're really working on. And Charles has taken a really big role in MRP development. Charles, tell the class what's been going on with you.
Yeah, well, I've been uh, stepping up on the ironclad front. So I've been taking some leadership on that end, along with some other folks. And for anyone who isn't in the Ironclad Discord, or if you're not following Ironclad, maybe you're not even on mode yet. Let me tell you what's going on. So we have a TG coming up, or an LG, I should say. Ironclad Token ICL will be going live in a couple weeks. The targeted date is July 2nd. So we will be seeding liquidity on Velodrome. And Ironclad, I'm extremely excited about this launch because, first of all, we have a centralized exchange listing that will be live immediately on BitGet. Pretty large centralized exchange, very exciting. And they are offering staking as well. So BitGet, it will have ICL staking. They'll have an ICL market. And we will have staking, like on-chain staking, Ironclad staking, live at the same time as well. So the LG is going to happen. Staking is going to be live. The fees from the protocol, platform fees, all going to stakers. So that is the lending module that currently exists and the MRP module that is in development. I see Deez in the chat. What's up, Deez, from Mode? Nice to see you here. Yeah, so staking is going to be live day one. There is reliquary tech integrated, so like staking rewards will be maturity adjusted. We're going to have O tokens, and like I said, all fees and stuff going to the stakers. So
Sound off in the chat if you love it.
yeah. Yeah. So anyways, really excited for this launch. I would say as an organization, this is like from what I've seen, we've never been in a better position going into a token launch, in terms of like how organized we are, how much stuff we have going for us, and having a centralized exchange listing like straight in day one is a pretty huge deal. So I've never been more excited about this, about a token launch, to be honest. I feel like we're in place a lot. And the experience that we're gaining with Ironclad, like Aurelius will be following suit with the AU token, and the AU, the Aurelius stablecoin as well. IUSD is the Ironclad stablecoin. Aurelius will be getting AUSD is the Aurelius stablecoin. I think I messed up my comms there a bit, but whatever. But like the experience that we're gaining in terms of prepping for these launches and like optimizing for liquidity generation and like giving traders, liquidity providers, stakers the best possible what's the word, conditions to just win. Everybody win like right off the bat. It's an invaluable experience, and it's just going to allow us to like aggregate all these operations and just come up with a winning formula so we can hit the tokenomics development as smoothly as we're hitting the engineering development, if that makes sense. Like our MRP development on the engineering side is just second to none. Like it's just insane how streamlined all the development is there. On the tokenomics, on the BD, on like the marketing side, we're like slow. We're catching up to the engineers and how beasts they are. So I'm just really excited to like be really just like hitting the ground running with Ironclad, and I think it's going to prove to be really successful. And we're going to be able to replicate that process for a bunch of other MRPs. And we've been talking to a ton of networks recently, and we have 2 MRPs in development, 2 new ones at the moment. You guys would not believe how much demand there is for our tech and for like a native stablecoin and a native lending market, our model. We are able to ask for a lot, to be honest, on some of like the newer networks. Like they, we have endless meetings and we're having to like really prioritize where we'd like to go next, and we really have choices in terms of where we want to deploy. So it's really nice to have that, and to have some sort of leverage with like, check this out. Here are some existing products, and they work really well, and we are like developing some sort of reputation. So all that to say is I'm just excited for the future. I've been grinding out the other big project that I mentioned at the beginning that I can't specify. But once that's sort of underway, um, I'm just gonna just like triple and quadruple down on expanding these MRPs and getting everything where it needs to be for like a massive Codex launch. Yeah. So that's my spiel. I hope I'm tired. It's hot where I'm at, so I hope that all made sense. But I'm just excited.
Yeah, no, it is exciting, dude. Really exciting. So the MRP train is not stopping. We got 2 more in the works. We've got lots of momentum building up on Ironclad. Um, and we're gonna recreate the success on Aurelius. We're learning a lot of valuable lessons. I think it's looking good, fellas. It's looking good, ladies and gents, as we move into the middle of summer. Um, the super chain summer, Grand Tonto. Yeah, sure, dude. um, real quick, I want to touch on Crypto Peter's comment here. You need to be a dev in order to know where the money is invested because you do not take responsibility for the investment you do, and you've closed out outstanding tickets. As far as I know, we haven't like decided to just close out tickets. If it was closed, someone might have thought it was resolved. Um, but yeah, I mean, I don't know if the wording that you need to be a developer to know where your funds are going. Um, we are still learning lessons. We could maybe be even clearer in terms of how we communicate. And that's kind of what we're hoping Aurelia, or not Aurelia, what Codex will solve for, right? With the Insight universe, really making it very clear where all the assets are flowing to and out of. You know, the Sone thing is extremely unfortunate. But aside from just waiting for the investigation to conclude, and whatever funds can be recovered to be recovered, the only thing we can do is apply lessons going forward. And as we said in our blog post, we have consciously decided to change how we handle that kind of rehypothecation of assets or that kind of flow of assets. We're going to try and keep it all in house now, so this kind of thing does not get replicated. Anyway, moving on. Back to business. Back to Codex. I want to talk about this, Charlie. You kind of already talked about it a little bit, but what are we doing to make Codex a success? We're building partnerships. That's a big one. We're really stepping up and honing in our marketing game. A little initiative that is going to start going public soon here is Ulver, who I don't know if you guys have had any exposure to Ulver. Been on the team for a good while. Was a
You
developer. I
might
think
know
he's
him
still.
as people might know him as Degenicus. So he was Degenicus in the Oath Discord for forever, and in like the Reaper Discord. Um, but his new pseudonym is Ulver. But yeah, he's our technical lead. He used to be a dev. He's taking on a lot of BD responsibility these days. And he's kind of like he's a good person to work with because like if I go into a meeting with him, we have all bases covered because all the technical stuff that they need to talk about, like if who we're meeting with has a dev involved, Oliver can handle that. All the shit that I don't know. Yeah. So, anyways, continue on.
Yeah. So Ulver and I have been working on recording some interviews that we think will be interesting with teams that we find interesting around the space. And we're talking like quite broad, everything from people working on Bitcoin to Cosmos to whatever, real world assets, DeFi. Uh, all kinds of things that could maybe plug into Cod3x or could benefit from working with Cod3x, or we could benefit from working with them, or we're just interested in what they're doing and the tech they're building. So we've recorded a couple episodes of this show, this little podcast, if you will, and you can expect to see those coming soon. uh, yeah, we'll start releasing those and kind of socializing those too through our channels. So if you're interested in that kind of thing, audio content like this, you'll hopefully find that interesting. It's a little bit more of a general content. Not going to be, we're trying not to be extremely shilly on those. But yeah, hopefully it'll be interesting. And that kind of helps in our biz dev efforts because it gives us like some additional incentives for connecting with people and gets our names out there a little bit more. Next, we covered building MRPs. What else we're doing to make Cod3x a success? We're building Cod3x. We are hopefully going to have a demo soon. We're working on some beta features to kind of get those into development. It's going to be a little while because we want it to be good. We want it to be usable. But I'm excited for that. Oh, I got kind of confused here. Oh, no, I'm not confused. And now this is where I flip the script. So that's kind of what we're doing. You know, we're building the thing. We're trying to market it as best as we can. We're trying to make these MRPs as best as we can, build the best partnerships that we can. But now this is where you guys come in. The Marines, the Special Forces, the soldiers here we got. How can you contribute to the success of Cod3x? Because if we're all in this together, right, we're all benefiting from the success of Cod3x. We should all, you know, do all we can. So tying back to the beta features of the demo, something that I've been talking about internally is hopefully getting those available to people here in our Discord, maybe of a certain rank, to have early access to for testing, or just to play around with the features. I think it'd be a good use of everyone's time. It could be fun for you all. And then yeah, also we already covered this is where I had the part of like, do we want to mesh communities? We want to merge into one big Uber Discord. Um, yeah. Yeah. Oh, also, you can help us socialize or message, give us feedback. So I really appreciate any support you can give to any kind of tweets or whatever we have out there supporting the MRPs, participating in Discords and on Twitter. Also, just like
Everyone
reaching
likes to
out.
take notes on his hand.
Uh,
You've got a bunch of,
it
you've
would
got
be
some
better if I had
napkins strewn around your desk.
it in this one document, but I guess I need new glasses. I keep losing my place. No, but if you could help us socialize the message, just staying active in the Discords, letting us know how we're doing, things you'd like to see from us more, areas you think we might be able to improve, any kind of feedback like that, you know, it's very valuable to us. And we trust you guys. We know you're not just yanking us around. Um,
Yeah, this is a good time to do so because, you know, like we are, we're at a stage where the thing is getting built, and so much of our efforts are not user facing at this moment. You know, like we're it's just constant BD, constant meetings, constant partnerships. And you know, once we sort of get closer to actually launching that, that is when you know user marketing and more like I guess public outreach needs to be ramped up and will be ramped up. So this is a good time for you guys to you know voice your opinions and help us like optimize things like the mega discord, and just keep questions and opinions coming because we can log all of them, and then you know when the time comes to really like ramp up public facing messaging and starting to tackle these like our partner communities where protocols that we are engaged with, we can you know approach their communities and get them plugged in to Codex. So yeah, I guess that's what Corwell is saying.
Yeah. I wanted touch on this a little bit more is the integration strategy. So as I mentioned, partnerships are going to be really big for us. So any way you can kind of direct us or help connect us with additional partners, even as simply as just replying to their tweets of any DeFi projects you'd like to see integrated into Codex, would be helpful. So reach out to your favorite protocols, let them know about us, and that you would like for them to integrate with us. And if you want us to go somewhere, to deploy an MRP somewhere, just tell us why. Make a little case for why we should do it. And we're all ears. We're listening. No promises, but we'll consider it. That's kind of what I'm getting at. I want to
Yeah, I
keep this
mean,
conversation open in the
mhm.
back.
Yeah, yeah, totally. I mean, that's what like the Oath governance forum was turning into before
Mhm.
before Oath, before we made this directional change. So we don't want to lose like our connection to you guys. That maybe might have been lost through like the governance forum, closing down soon. Um, so like your opinions about what chains you're active on, exactly what Corbell said, make a case for it, and we can sort of we can consider that when we're doing analysis on different networks and like where the best place to launch is. Um, Good point. Good point, Kate. Thank you. Stuff like that. Perfect example. Um, Thank you for your comment. Nice. Reacting. Um, yeah, yeah. There actually was one thing that I wanted to say like 20 minutes ago. I do have to go at 8. I have yet another meeting. My entire life is now meetings. But I did want to say something about uh, Ironclad and Aurelius. If you guys are paying attention, or if you're just not across Ironclad, the airdrop is quite large. We're dropping like over 10% of the tokens to early users. Um, I wanted to say our strategy there was to cut off the top users. It's actually the top 888 points farmers called Embers on Ironclad, and make sure that everybody that is getting an airdrop is going to be getting a substantial amount. We've seen like the meta this year has been like with the advent of point systems, like the majority of airdrops have been okay, airdrop everyone who has points, totally linear. And what happens is everybody gets diluted by like 10,000 users all getting like $10. And the most valuable, the users who are most committed get diluted by like the bottom 50%. And then everybody complains anyways because it's such a small airdrop. So our strategy was cut it off at a certain amount. Everybody who gets an airdrop gets a substantial amount. If you miss the cutoff, that sucks. But we want to reward um, those who have committed the most time um, and the most money, to be frank. So that being said, with Ironclad, in the case of Ironclad, there was a couple who had like billions of points, like a ridiculous amount of points, and we were able to curve that top end so they get proportionally less, just to make sure that they don't end up with a ridiculous amount um, of the supply. But I wanted to give a little bit of alpha for you guys in the case of Aurelius. Keep in mind what our strategy was for Ironclad. And if you are farming salt on Aurelius, just bear in mind what we have done with Ironclad in terms of having a cutoff, and maybe plan accordingly if you can, because we are approaching uh, the launch of AU, and we want to reward our dedicated users. So just keep that in mind. There actually might be some more explicit announcements coming out. I have to connect with Samson on this because he's kind of driving the ship with Aurelius. So I do want to connect with him and see what I can and can't say. But essentially, if you're farming salt, take a look at what we've done with Ironclad, and maybe it will be something similar. Hint, hint. How's that?
Awesome.
How's that for alpha? You savages.
I completely zoned out, so I don't know, dude, but I guess it's good. What people saying it's good. So yeah, so Charles, you got a hard cutoff in 12 minutes, so I don't wanna get in anything that'll be too meaty. So how about this one, dude? What does everyone think about airdrops? Can you name an airdrop that has been beneficial in the last like 6 months? Like how many of the last air I feel like every airdrop that I've heard of in the last 6 months has been like a catastrophe. It's worked out terribly for the ZK, and LZ was different. It was decent. I was
Mhm.
hearing that LZ people were still complaining about LZ, right? LZ is that's the one where you had to donate.
Yeah, well, this is the thing. It's like it's a lose lose, Like even yeah, it's literally impossible to make everyone happy with an airdrop. Um, so all you try and do is maximize the amount of users that are happy, and try and align what their interests are with the long term interests of the protocol. It's like if you do an airdrop, you're going to catch some strays on Twitter or whatever. It's just the reality of things. So yeah, we've seen a lot of different sort of strategies being employed by teams, and like a project that isn't like of our size that isn't worth billions of dollars. Airdropping everyone $5 is only going to um, be destructive, I guess. Maybe that's too harsh of a word, but um, like those who you airdrop, you want them to be invested in the protocol, and you want them to you know like receive a significant amount where they're like, oh well, I should at least a good amount of them are saying, if I don't know a ton about this protocol, maybe it's worth looking into what they're doing, and following that up with like a really, really effective and bullish tokenomic strategy, which I think we have with Ironclad. Once
Mhm.
they kind of learn what's going on, they're like, oh well, this is enough where maybe I should hang on to it, maybe I should stake it. But yeah, it's like on a network level, I can't even imagine conducting an airdrop. That's just like it's like, dude, uh, that is a quick way to give yourself an aneurysm.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's extremely hard to structure them. But I don't know. I'm pretty happy with our decision, and I think it's the right decision to make.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm not trying to second guess our decisions here. I'm kind of more thinking in the future. Once we analyze how this thing plays out, kind of positioning that in the current kind of, I guess, zeitgeist of airdrops. Um, because the approach seems to be kind of uh dangerous, right? Like, I see some people bring up the point, like, they get really hype. People get hyped up on an airdrop, so they blow up how much they think they're gonna get. So the
Mm,
expectations get out of whack. And then you also, have people who only farm airdrops just to dump them. So it's
yeah.
like, what are we actually accomplishing
Expectations.
with an airdrop?
Yeah.
And, like, is it actually effective at doing that? Is the real question. Because
Yeah.
it seems like at a point now, like it's primarily just done because people think it's, like, the only thing you can do to like, you have to do one to market or to launch a token or something.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of, I'm thinking maybe stealth airdrops are the way to go, like, Cat Dad's talking about here, right? If we were talking about just rewarding the people that actually use the product, right? Like, you don't think you're getting anything out of it other than using the tech. You use the tech a lot, throw you a little something sweet for being so sweet to us, giving us a shot, down the line. But when we really advertise it, I don't know. It's good for pumping up metrics, I suppose.
Yeah. Yeah, it's an interesting conversation to have. Now that they're all transparent. Um, exactly, kids. Like expectations minus reality equals sentiment. Um, so if you can, like with the stealth airdrop, having no people have no expectations, or they don't even know what's happening, and then suddenly they get a bunch of free money. They're gonna be singing your praises. And I like the cat dad, freaking get up here, man. I like yeah, like DeFi 2020, DeFi summer will never happen again. You know what I mean? Where like there's
Ever
just
see
so
that.
much free money going around, and I feel like it hasn't been long enough where people actually have forgotten what that was like. And so expectations around airdrop coming off of like five-figure, Uniswap airdrops, even like the Optimism one was like super lucrative. Um, like people still having that in mind when now they're transparent and everyone gets diluted, and then they end up with two figures. It's like people just a mob starts to form, and I feel like there's a lot of just like general I don't know, a bit of there's too much of a gap between expectations and what reality can actually serve people. A bit of entitlement, if I can say that freely. Um, so
Mm,
yeah, it's kind of the pendulum has swung really really far into pretty difficult territory to manage. And I think you know eventually people will hate all airdrops, and then it will swing back, and then we'll be finding some middle ground. Cat
yeah,
Dad, what do you have to say, man?
Hey guys, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Is there?
Yeah, just sorry, man. I'm just actually out in cafe. Let me know if it's too loud. I can walk away somewhere. Just want a small comment. Like, it's essentially projects are like, it's now leveraging these fake users. The airdrop meta, airdrop, the airdrop game. Obviously, what it does is creates like an artificial impression of large user base, attracts investors, creates a lot of misleading metrics, and obviously this deceives the VCs. But now VCs are caught on, so the VC funding's at all time low. People like going on launch pads with all these like metrics of inflated metrics, like I said before, active users, wallet addresses, token distribution statistics. It makes projects appear more successful and popular than they actually are. I think that's the only use of this, the main use case of this airdrop meta left now, given that all the big airdrops are now done. That's my view anyway. We've had a lot of projects come to us, ask for money based off these metrics. I don't really like
Yeah,
it. I think most people can see past them. That's my view
yeah,
anyway. But the retail sometimes gets wrecked, like the launch pads, CoinList people. Man, look at the CoinList raises. That's something I will tell you guys. Like people are raising nutty amounts on CoinList based off awful
absurd.
metrics. Like I mean, good metrics.
Yeah,
And this is the strategy. What we were doing, they go to CoinList. Coin's got a huge user base. They enlist on CoinList, or like they contract with CoinList. They get into advertise their instead of test nets and whatnot, and then they use that to raise off CoinList the actual launchpad. Raise like 5 to 10 million. It's nutty amounts people raise. Anyway, that's just my
yeah,
comment. That's just what I've seen in the industry.
yeah. Good
Yeah,
shout. I've got a good soundbite here. It's gone from users farming protocols to protocols farming users. To be honest,
you're proud of that? Are you proud of that?
I am proud of that. Yeah, I smiled.
Yeah, it seems like a way to me to kind of like get yeah, just like fake users kind of like on a layaway program, right? Like, hey, we'll give you money in the future if you just use our stuff for now. I think Cat Dad's point is spot on. Um, yeah, I mean, I wasn't even like around for like the earliest airdrops, but they seem to be much more like a decentralization focused. Um, but yeah, I I guess we'll see how these ones go, and we can kind of evaluate like what their utility will be in our strategies going forward. Um, because this will be kind of like I don't know, like our step into the major leagues for token launches. I suppose we're getting like more experience, so I think it'd be something worthwhile to look at. And judging by like kind of the conversation we've been having, there are a lot of interesting opinions within our community here on it. So good to know. All right. 2 minutes, and then Charles has to go to his next meeting to try and make us all $1 million. No pressure, Charles, but we're all counting on you. So I want to quickly just touch on
You can run over a
news.
bit. That's okay.
KOLs are dead. Shkreli and some they've killed KOLs. That's it. I'll say that. And now we're call to action here. Please, guys, thank you so much for showing up. It really means a lot to have you guys here engaging with us, still working with us on the project as we're building. It's a tough thing here, building in public, as they say. So you guys being engaged really means a lot, and really enjoy getting this kind of feedback and being able to engage with you guys like this. So let us know in the Discords, Twitter, hit me up. You know me at Mason Corval. And let us know what you want to see more of, anything you kind of want to give us some feedback on. And yeah, and we'll let you guys know when a recording is up as soon as it is available. Charles. Oh yeah, now tell 5 friends about the 3X gang, bro.
That's a way better call to action than your thing.
Yeah. Fallout Zone. You want my job, bro?
Fallout Zone.
Hey,
You are now the man with the mustache.
give me some ideas for an ASMR channel. Like, what am I supposed to do? And you know, get back to me on that, RGK. RGK, make a pitch, dude. And I'll think about it.
Yeah.
All right. See you, fellas.
Yeah, thanks guys. Thanks for chopping it up with us. That was fun. Sorry we couldn't get any of the people across development on the call to give us some concrete updates, but for the next one, I'm gonna make sure that I'm gonna cancel everybody's meetings at this time so everyone can come on stage. Yeah, appreciate it, y'all. Thanks for coming, and we'll see you in a couple weeks. And I think I would like to plan an Ironclad office hours for next week. So if you like what you heard regarding Ironclad and you're not in the Discord yet, pop in there and come to the office hours and prep yourselves for launch. And if you haven't gotten on mode, bridge over. Bridge over and stake and earn some fees. That's all I had to say. Thanks, y'all.
See you, everybody.